Hello everyone, Melody here, mom of 4 in our blended family of 6. Welcome to Homeschool Happy Hour. Today's video is a collaboration with Shanna over at Making Everyday Magic, where we are going to talk about our 3 favorite curriculums and our least favorite curriculum. So if you're interested in getting some tips on what kind of curriculums the secular homeschooling community is liking and or loving, and maybe what we're not so into, please stick with me and let's talk about these. If you are new here, please take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you check out the playlist of the other awesome homeschool secular mamas that are putting these videos together for you, and let me know what you think. Always love it when you guys drop a comment in the comment box below because I love to chat with you guys and get your feedback. So, without further ado, I have a small stack of curriculum in my lap right here that I would like to talk to you about. My 3 favorite curriculum. Of course, there's a lot of amazing curriculum out there, and some of it I love and I just maybe haven't listed in this particular stack. Some of it some other people love and it just doesn't work for our family. Please don't think that my short list of favorite curriculum means that it will necessarily be your favorite. I really just want to give you some options to look at so you can decide what works best for you. I decided to choose curriculum from 3 different subject areas, so I will start with number 1, my most, oh darn it, which order should I do this in? Should I go from like my most favoritist of favorite and down to my 3rd favorite, or should I go from my 3rd favorite to my 1st favorite? Okay, big decisions here. I'm going to go from my favorite to my favorite favorite to my most favorite, starting with Beast Academy. I have searched far and wide for a very long time for a math curriculum that I loved and that my children would love. I had given up hope. I didn't think it would happen, but I found it. It's this. We love it. I love it. My kids love it. I mean, for as much as they love math, because math isn't their favorite subject, but Bean kind of is really into math. And now that we have introduced this curriculum, which is fun and light and academically challenging at the same time, she is starting to get back into her math groove. I love how this program is super geared for kids. It is friendly in the way that it's presented. It is presented in a way that they can do their work independently, which is huge for our household. They have an online option, or they have an only printed option, or you can use both together. And I really love that it's not by grade level, it's just levels. And so they have 2, 3, 4, 5, and each level is meant for an age range of children. So as we all know, kids are usually on different grade levels. If you're comparing a homeschooled student to a public school student, you don't typically get a student in any educational setting that is 7th grade through and through. It doesn't happen. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses, and if you really were figuring where they were at academically, they would be kind of all over the place. And so I love that Beast Academy doesn't do grades, they just do levels. I think this is important because, especially if it's something I'm handing to my child, and I don't want them to get wrapped up if it says it's for this grade or that grade. I just want them to be happy working where they're working, getting the information they need to get, and moving forward. So if you're interested in a more detailed review of Beast Academy or either of the other curriculums that I'm about to share with you, please check out my playlist. I have reviewed these, and as I get more updated materials, I will continue to review them year by year. Anyway, Beast Academy. I wish that we had come to it sooner, but we did not. So we're just going to enjoy it now that we have it. Number 2 of my favorite curriculums. Is it curriculums? Curricula? Or just curriculum? I don't know. I always say the word wrong, so I'm just gonna go with it. Anyway, History of Us. I have talked to you guys about this one. I have a video about this one as well. This is just one book in a book. I think there are 11 books in this series if you get them. We are currently working our way through book 4. This is book 5. We will be jumping into this one later this year or next year, depending on how quickly we work through them. And it is history of the United States from beginning to current. And I have found it to be well balanced. I have found it to be presented in an interesting way. We love reading this together. It's not necessarily a curriculum with like lesson plans and all that kind of stuff. It's more of a resource in that way. But I have actually stopped trying to find alternative curriculums because I feel like this book and this series of books is so thorough that we're able to get what we need out of it. And then as we're reading the chapters, we will see something that is of interest to us and we'll jump on YouTube or Google or whatever, and we will do a little interest-led exploration on those topics. I love using this for our history, and I totally feel like this book is perfect for mixed age groups. I could read this book with a kindergartner, a first grader, especially in the beginning books, and they will be interested in the storyline just as much as I, as an adult, am interested in learning the things they have in there. It's fun and it's just all around awesome. So if you have not checked out these books, go ahead and check them out. I had a hard time finding them. So if you find a great resource that has them and is ready to go for it. But Joy Hakim, I don't know how you say it, she has put together some amazing material here. All right, the last in my list of favorite curriculums, I don't know, is my number one. This is my number one most favorite that I have used ever, that we've ever used. We are well into, almost finished with our 8th official year of homeschooling. That's if you count from kindergarten to where we're at now. If you count preschool, which I did do intentional learning at that time, we're looking at 10 years of schooling. And I have never found another curriculum that I like more than Lightning Literature. If you've been watching my videos, you know this is true because I say it all the time. I'm in love with these books. I'm in love with this curriculum. I really just think it's the best of the best. And here is why. First of all, this is just a teacher's guide. This, in the elementary years, it goes up to grade 6 for the elementary, and there's 2 books. So you get your teacher's guide and then you have your student workbook, and they mesh together so well. They also come with a stack of reading materials because it's based on literature. I have done a full review of the 5th grade Lightning Literature. I will be doing a full review of the 6th grade and 7th grade later on this year. I love that it's literature based because we love books in our house. We love reading in our house. It covers grammar, composition, and as far as the teacher guide compared to the student guide, I feel like this is set up in a way that it could go either way. This could be very student-led, which with The Prisoner at this point in her 7th grade materials, she has taken the lead hardcore on that, and she's able to do what she needs to do without needing me to hover over or facilitate every step of the way. Or if you are wanting to, in the teacher guides, it has all the information that you need if you want to go with them step by step. And so I really like having those options. I dislike materials that require me to hold their hand through every moment because we really do value independent learning in our house. And even though I do love doing things with my kids, I love reading books with them, and a lot of times I will do some of this Lightning Literature stuff with them. There are also times when they want to have more independence, and I want them to be able to do that and still work on their schoolwork. So, also, I should mention, every book that is in here is selected carefully. I love that. There is a diversity of viewpoint, diversity of genre, diversity of characters. It's just, it exposes to children all kinds of books, reading material, subjects, everything, as well as there are optional materials given in the teacher guide throughout the year. And so if I wanted to, if I was on a really tight budget and I was like, I can only afford one curriculum, this would be it. Because I could use this as a springboard for my English language arts, grammar, writing, all of that stuff. And I could use it as a springboard for science and history, maybe not math so much, but all of those other subjects, I could totally use this to help guide us towards those things. And so I love the way it's put together. I love how she talks in this book, in the beginning, in the introduction of every book, she talks about meeting students where they are at, and that her goal is to help them love learning, to help them love books, to help them love reading. And she gives you all kinds of tools to help with that. So that's easy. Asking me for my 3 favorite curriculums, that is cake gravy. I could sit and talk with you about favorite curriculum all day long. Okay, the hard part of this video is, what is my one least favorite curriculum? Well, here's the thing. First of all, I don't have it to show you because it's my least favorite and I am not a keeper of things. So in my house, if it is not useful in use or needed, then I don't keep it. And so, yeah, I can't show you my least favorite curriculum, but I can talk to you about it. And it was hard. I had to think about it for a while because I've come across different curriculum that I don't have in my house anymore that I didn't care for, but it wasn't because I had an issue with the curriculum in and of itself. Like, I could see why certain curriculum would be useful for different families. It just didn't fit our needs or our style. And so it wasn't what we were looking for. And then occasionally I come across resources, material, or curriculum that, I don't really see eye to eye with, but I do tend to be like waste not, want not. And so if it has some valuable information in it, I'll just pull those pieces out and use them. If it has things in it that I feel like we can use for points of discussion on learning different things, we'll use that too. And so I really wasn't sure how I was going to answer the least favorite curriculum question, but I think I've come up with an answer. And it's this. My least favorite curriculum that I have ever worked with is the story of the world. And let me tell you why. Well, before I tell you why, first of all, this curriculum was one of the very first that I had attempted to use for the girls for history. When they were very, very little, I got some of these books, and I actually got them as audio books so that we could listen to them in the car when we were driving. We live significantly far away from town, and so we would spend quite a bit of time in the car. So I was like, you know what, this is great. I've heard good things about the story of the world. It was very unclear to me at the time whether it was secular or not secular materials, which, 8, 9, 10 years ago was really hard to find quality secular materials. And so I did compromise on some materials at times and use materials that were not strictly secular, and I would just pick out the religious pieces. So it wasn't a big deal. There are a lot more materials out there now. Yay! I'm so excited about that. I'm so grateful for that. But at the time, there were not a lot. And I was getting mixed messages on whether the story of the world was secular or not. And actually, even now, I hear people talking about debating whether or not the story of the world is secular or not secular. And here's what I found. In my opinion, the story of the world is not secular. It is not. And it is not secular in the worst way because it's subtle. I remember listening to the audiobooks with the girls and the theology that was ingrained in the story. It wasn't something that you could really pick out. It was like it was woven into the story in such a way that the theology was presented as facts of history, which If that's what you're looking for, if that's what your family believes and that's what you choose to use, okay. But if that is what the material is going to present, then it is not secular at all. And I take issue with religious material that is not clear. I don't know if I'm saying that the right way. It kind of just makes me feel like if you're presenting it as, oh yeah, you can use it in a secular household, but then it is so incredibly not secular, but it's weaved into the storyline in that way, it makes it feel underhanded or manipulative. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably gonna get some bad feedback about this, but I feel like there should be a warning label on things that is like, caution, contains religious content. For not really, I don't really want to have warning labels. I'm not that kind of person. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be nice that it could be clear in what its intent was and clear in what kind of content was in it. And it wasn't. And I didn't like it. And I would not advise Story of the World for anybody seeking secular history curriculum. Now, if you're looking for religious-based history curriculum, well then, first of all, you probably wouldn't ask me because I'm not religious. And second of all, if I had to give you some, I don't know if I would advise it or not because I'm so irritated with that curriculum. Anyway, that was kind of a rant on that poor, innocent, bystanding curriculum that didn't ask me to rant about it, but that's what happens when you ask me what my least favorite curriculum is. Now you know. As always, I'm so excited to join in a collab with Shanna and the other mamas that are putting out these videos. I hope you will take a minute to check their video out. I hope that you find some materials or discover some materials that are exciting to you, that you might love using in your home. And I hope that you feel free to drop me a comment in the box below because I love to chat with you guys. Otherwise, thank you for joining me today, and I will catch you next time. Putting these, oh my goodness,